Hello dear students of the third prep grade, and welcome to a new episode of our program. It's time for mathematics, and on this episode we'll be discussing and explaining a new lesson of algebra. It's lesson 3, unit 2, direct and inverse variation, with our teacher of mathematics, Mr. Ahmed Said. Hello, Mr. Ahmed.
Hello,
and
Mr.
welcome
Yasser.
to the program.
Nice to meet you.
So, what about this lesson? What are we going to have in it?
This lesson is considered the last lesson in our the last unit in algebra. Okay?
So it's the last unit of algebra, and we'll be waiting for your phone calls on our phone number 257-56187. If you've got any question related to the syllabus, the first semester, do give us a call. All right, so Mr., what are we going to have now?
First, I'm going to define what is the meaning of direct variation and also inverse variation.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see together. We have the following table. Okay, this table shows some values of x and other values of y. Okay, let x take values 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. Okay, and what about y? Y equals 2, 4, 6, 8. From the data given in the table, we have x increasing values, because x equals 1, 2, 3, 4. It means increase. So what about y? Also increase. 2, 4, 6, 8 is also increase. What is the relation between x and y? Can you find the relation between x and y? When x equals 1, y equals 2. When x equals 2, y equals 4. Then we can say that x, or one can say that y equals 2 multiplied x. Let's see together. 2 times 1 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4, and so on. So the relation between the two variables y and x is y equals 2x. What about 2? 2 is considered a constant. 2 is considered a constant. So we can say y. We have a new sample in our episode today, which is varies. Okay, we say y varies as x. Means if x increasing, y increasing. If x decreasing, y decreasing. So we can say y varies as x. Okay, if y varies as x, the first rule will be y equals constant like k. Can say kx. K here is a constant, which is 2 in our example. Okay, then y equals kx. What about if I have two values for x, like 1 and 2? We can say them x1 over x2 equals y1 over y2, which is considered the second rule. So the first rule, y equals constant. Constant may be positive, negative, fraction, any constant. The first one, y equals kx. K here is constant. What about second rule? x1 over x2 equals y1 over y2. What about if you want to represent the direct variation graphically? If I have x with values 1, 2, 3, 4 and y with values 2, 4, 6, 8, to represent any direct relation between two variables, we can say two axes here, x, and the vertical is y. Okay, and make a straight line passing through the origin point. This relation represents the direct variation between two variables like x and y. Okay, but here we have the summary of these parts. The direct variation is given by the rule y varies as x. What the meaning of direct means two variables increasing together or decreasing together. The first one, y equals kx. K here is the constant of the variation. Second rule, if I have two values for x, like x1 over x2 equals y1 over y2 of the table. What about the graphical representation of the direct variation? We have two axes, x and y, and make a straight line passing through the origin point and increasing from left to right. What about the inverse variation? What about the inverse variation? Let's see together the following table. If I have here following table, the same, I have x and y, and put some values of x, like 16, 8, 4, 2, and y equals 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you notice about this table? We have two variables, x and y. The variable x decreases. Okay, 16, 8, 4, and last value is 2. It means decrease. But what about y? Y here is increase from left to right. Okay? So in this case, can you find the constant of this relation? You can divide, just divide 16 divide 1, 8 divided 2 to find the constant. So the first one here, y varies 1 over x. يبقى في اللي فاتت أو في الدايركت كانت y varies as x. في الانفرس y varies as 1 over x. يبقى كده أول difference between them. If I have y varies as 1 over x, it means y equals constant over x. Can you find the other form for this relation? You can use cross multiplying. It means k equals x, y. K equals x, y. With the first one. The second rule, if I have y varies as 1 over x, and y takes two values like y1 over y2, then inversely x will take x1 over x2 or x2 over x1. يبقى direct كانت x1 over x2 equals y1 over y2, but in inverse y1 over y2 equals x2 over x1 because it's inverse. We do the opposite operation. Okay. What about graph? If you want to graph this relation, here I have x and this is y. Okay. In the direct variation, the line was passing through the origin point and increasing from left to right. But in inverse, we do the opposite. It means make a straight line passing through the origin point, but decreasing from left to right. تمام؟ طب if you want to make comparison between them, direct and inverse. The first one, direct, the rule y varies as x. طب inverse, y varies as 1 over x. Okay? What else? y1 over y2 equals x1 over x2. Here, y1 over y2 equals x2 over x1. What else? If I have y equals kx, k is a constant What about inverse? Y equals K over X, or in other words, K equals YX or XY. Okay, what was the graph? You can make the graph two axes, X and Y. In the direct, we move increasing from left to right, but in the inverse, we put straight line passing the origin point, decreasing from left to right. Okay? Stop.
Okay, so let's have some more applications here.
Okay.
This one says if y varies x, then x1 over x2 equals what over what?
Stop. Here we have a complete question. The first one, if y
Varies x,
x,
then x1 over x2
then x1 over x2 equals space over what? Okay. Since y varies as x, then x1 over x2 directly variation it will be y1 over y2. Okay? يبقى تاني, if y varies as x, then it's a direct variation. We can make two fractions with symbols corresponding values. Means x1 over x2, it will be equals y1 over y2. Okay?
Another one.
Yes.
Okay, if x varies inversely as y, then y1 over y2 equals?
Good. If x varies inversely as y, يبقى x varies as 1 over y. Okay? Then y1 over y2, in inverse variation we do the opposite. يعني هنا هقول y1 over y2, we just put x2 over x1. Okay? Do the opposite.
طيب اسمح لي نستقبل تليفون أمنية من الجيزة. أهلا بيك يا أمنية. أمنية.
الو،
ازيك عاملة ايه؟
كويسه الحمد لله.
عندك أي سؤال؟
كان عندي سؤالين للمستر.
اتفضلي معاكي المستر.
في البروبورشن if y over x minus z,
y over
if y over x minus z equal x over y
x over y
equal x plus y
x plus y
over z.
over z.
Prove that
Prove that
each ratio is equal to 2.
Sorry?
Each ratio is equal to 2.
Equals to
2
equals to, صح؟
يعني ايه بتساوي 2. Unless x plus y.
Sorry, x
Unless x plus y
x plus y
equals 0.
equal 0. طيب.
Then find
find ratio
between x to y to z.
x to
y
y
to z.
to z.
في أي سؤال آخر أمنية؟
اه
طيب قوليه.
برضو في البروبورشن
نكتبه في ورقة تانية؟ تمام.
Okay.
اوكي اتفضلي يا أمنية.
if a plus 3b
a plus 3b
over x plus 6y
x plus 6y
equal 3p
3b
plus 5c
plus 5c
over
over
6y
6y
plus 10z
plus, sorry,
plus 10z
10z
z equal
equals
5c
5c
plus a
over 10z
plus x.
plus x. Yes.
Prove that a over b equal x over 2y
x over 2y.
and find a to b to c.
Find
A to B to C.
a to b to c.
أمنية is that all؟
اه
طيب شكرا ليكي أمنية.
كنت عايزة بس أقول حاجة.
اتفضلي.
ممكن بس المستر وهو بس بيحلها يقول لي البروبورشن ده عشان أنا مش فاهمة كويس.
تمام. أنت بتحبي تفضلي معانا ولا تقفلي؟
لا هقفل عشان أفهم كويس.
طيب خلاص أوكي. مستر وضحت هي عايزة تقول إيه؟
تمام.
طيب المستر هيشرح لك كل حاجة. شكرا ليكي أمنية وتابعينا. طيب.
اوكي طب هنا عندي مع بعض في الكويستشن ده لو خدنا بس كده first question بقول فيه ان انا if I have the proportion y over x minus z equals x over y equals x plus y over z and we want to find its ratio equals 2. Okay طب how about to find the answer? We have a proportion or we have a fact says that we can add or subtract the antecedent and consequence of the ratio to find the answer. يعني لو عندي x over y كexample equals a over b, we can make it x plus a over y plus b equals 1 of ratio. يعني أنا ممكن أعمل plus ratios أو plus للantecedent and consequence. تمام؟ أو ممكن أعمل إيه تاني؟ we can subtract يبقى x minus a over y minus b. تمام؟ ده ممكن كمان أعمل multiply للfirst ratio يعني هعمل take for example 2x plus a over 2y plus b. ده ممكن كمان هعمل حاجة تانية هعمل x plus 3a over y plus 3b. يبقى انا عندي اكتر من اوبشن او اكتر من حل او اكتر من ستيب اجيب بيها الانسر بتاعتي. يبقى we can add, we can subtract, multiply then add, multiply then subtract as we want. تمام؟
تمام.
طيب.
هي برضو بتسأل عن حاجة خاصة بالبروبورشن.
يس. نيجي بقى للكويستشنز بتاعتها ان انا هنا عندي the first one ان y over x minus z equals x over y equals x plus y over z. Okay? طب. We want to prove that and all the ratios equals 2. يعني عايزين نثبت هنا او we want to prove ان الريشيوز دي كلها equals 2. طب applying للرول اللي انا لسه قايلها من شويه او من لحظات ان we can add all the parts. صح؟ طب it means we can add by adding the three ratios. Okay يعني هعمل ايه؟ just y plus x plus x plus y. وانا عملت ايه؟ عملت y plus x plus x plus y. Just add all the antecedents. تمام؟ Do the same down. هعمل نفس الكلام in the denominators. يعني هقول x minus z plus y plus z. Okay? طب we can simplify x plus y plus x plus y. Then we have 2x plus 2y. Okay? يبقى 2x plus 2y over. You can cancel z from z. because it is negative and the other is positive. طب what is the remainder? x plus y. يبقى هنا أقول x plus y. Okay. طب هنا عندي في numerator we can take 2 as a common factor because 2 is repeated. فهنا أقول 2 bracket 2x divided 2 equals x, 2y divided 2 equals y. طب what about the denominator? نفس الكلام هقول x plus y. طب here you can cancel the common factor from the numerator and the denominator اللي هو بيكون x plus y and x plus y. What is the answer final? Equals 2. يبقى each ratio will be equals 2. Okay? طيب the second part بقى our second question هي كانت طالباه. I think نوع نفس rule exactly إننا we have about 3 ratios and we want to prove that in a over b equals x over 2y. But here we have the ratio which is a plus 3b x plus 6y equals 3b plus 5c over 6y plus 10z equals 5c plus a over 10z plus x, and we want to prove that in a over b equals x over 2y. طيب هنا عندي the given is a plus 3b over x plus 6y equals 3b plus 5c over 6y plus 10z equals 5c plus a over 10z plus x. We want to find a over b equals x plus 2y. طب here we have 3 ratios. لو قلنا by subtracting first and second ratio, by subtracting first and second ratio, it will be a plus 3b minus 3b minus 5c. يبقى تاني we subtract first minus second. طب نفس الكلام down, يبقى x plus 6y minus 6y minus 10z. يبقى عملت x plus 6y minus the last 2 terms. طب you can simplify. 5 أو a plus 3b minus 3b minus 5c. يبقى you can cancel them. Then we have a minus 5c. نفس الكلام you can cancel 6y minus 6y and the answer will be x minus 10z. What about if you add the third ratio with the result? يعني هعمل كده plus 5c plus a, نفس الكلام plus 10z plus x. Then you can cancel the common factor. 5c negative, 5c positive cancelled, 10z negative, 10z positive. يبقى x plus x equal 2 أو a plus a equals 2a over x plus x equal 2x. You can cancel a with or 2 with 2. What is the answer? A over x. Okay? طب second part. If you want to find the value of b, how to find x over 2y? The same exactly, Mr. Yasser. We can add or subtract the given ratios to find the right hand side, and then from the equality we can say a over b equals x over 2y. Okay?
تمام. Okay, نرجع ل the other exercise we started before having Omnia's call. Okay, if y, sorry, if x varies inversely as y, then y over 1 equals y over y2.
y1.
Are we done with this?
Okay, solved it before, yes.
Yeah, okay. If y equals 3 over 5x,
y
then y varies as
equal 3 over 5x,
then y
varies.
هنا
عندي في this question we have y equal 3 over 5x. طب what about 3 over 5? It's a constant. يبقى 3 over 5 here is a constant like k. يبقى أنا أقول طالما إن y equals constant times x, y equals constant times x, then it will be y varies directly as x. يبقى طالما هنا عندي إن y equals 3 over 5, we can consider 3 over 5d as a constant, then the answer will be y varies directly as x. Okay?
Okay. Let's move to another one. If y varies 5 over x, then y varies inversely as?
Good. This question is very important.
Okay.
If y
varies
5
over x.
5 over x.
Sorry, 3 over.
Which one?
All right.
5 over or 3?
5 over x. Yeah. If y varies.
Good.
5 over x. Then y varies inversely as.
Then
y varies
inversely as. طب.
Okay. And we have a caller, محمود من الجيزة. أهلا بيك يا محمود.
أهلا بيك يا أستاذ.
متابعنا من أول حلقة؟
أيوة يا أستاذ.
عايز عندك سؤال ولا عايز تسأل؟
ممكن أعيد السؤال؟ ممكن تعيد بس السؤال اللي لسه.
طيب أنت عايز تحله؟
لا
طيب.
عيده.
عايز نعيد أنهي سؤال اللي فات بتاع أمنية؟ ولا أنهي اللي فات على طول؟
ايوه عيد السؤال بتاع أمنية اللي فات ده.
طيب خليك كده معانا تابع شوف هو ده السؤال ولا لأ.
طب
أنهي واحد متعلق بإيه طيب؟
هو كان which one? We solved 2 questions.
احنا جاوبنا سؤالين وكان بعدهم برضو سؤال. طب اعرض له كده المسألة يشوفوا أي واحد فيهم.
بص يا محمود ده كانت first question اللي هو كان عندي x أو y over x minus z equals x over y equal x plus y.
أيوه
هو ده تمام.
اوكي.
خليك معانا يا محمود شوف ايه اللي مش فاهمه فيه.
طيب.
ايه اللي عايزه فيه بالظبط؟ اسأل المستر.
اللي هو الواي اوفر اكس ماينس زد.
حاول توطي التلفزيون يا محمود، اسمعنا من خلال التليفون. اوكي.
الموضوع بسيط جدا يا محمود معايا. لو هنا عندي 3 ratios given form a proportion اللي هما كان y over x minus z equal x over y equals x plus y over z. كان سؤال أمنية يعني she wants to prove in each ratio equals 2. تمام؟ يعني كنت عايز أوصل في الآخر إن كل ratios دي equals 2. يبقى how to prove that يا محمود؟ أول حاجة قلنا هنعمل إيه؟ by adding the 3 ratios. ولما اقول adding 3 ratios معناه ان انا هعمل add للnumerators and add للdenominators يا محمود. تمام؟ طب يبقى step by step اهو معايا. هبدأ ب y زي ما هي، يبقى y plus x اوكي plus x plus y عادي جدا x plus y. طب down بقى نفس الفكرة x minus z x minus z plus y plus z.
متابعنا يا محمود؟
تمام step by step.
ايوه معاك.
طيب you can simplify محمود from the numerator and denominator. تمام؟ يبقى هنا عندي y plus x plus y plus x. تمام؟ يبقى here we have 2x.
يبقى معايا
يبقى how many
2y
x؟
2x.
برافو عليك. يبقى 2x plus 2y.
2y.
جميل جدا. طب داون بقى.
داون
x minus z.
يبقى 1y 1z.
تمام. يبقى you can cancel negative z with positive z. تمام. طب اصبح هنا عندي ايه؟ x
y
plus
y
y. في مشكلة؟
بلس y.
تمام كده.
من فوق اخد ال 2 common factor. 2 as a common factor.
هما الاكس وال
يبقى x plus y over down it will be x plus y. You can cancel the common factor x plus y, x plus y. What is the remainder?
x بلس y هيبقى
2. Okay.
تمام. في أي أسئلة أخرى ليك محمود؟ طيب بشكرك محمود من الجيزة. نرجع تاني للإكسرسايز اللي كنا بدأناه.
تمام. Which is
Yeah.
the
one if I guess it's if y
varies
if y varies
5
over x.
of x. Good. Then y varies inversely as space. Good. This question. قلنا قبل كده ان طالما ان y varies as a constant over x فده الفيجر او ده بيكون الفورم of the inverse variation. كنا بنقول ان y varies as k او equals 1 over x. طب it will be y varies 1 over x. It will be y equals constant over x. Constant over x. Then طبعا في هنا عنده y equals constant over x. It means in y varies inversely as x. ما طالما هنا 5 is a constant هنا عندي ال 5 instead of k. تمام. يبقى ال y equals 5 over k أو 5 over x. معناه كده إن ال 5 دي instead of k مع ذلك إن ال y varies inversely as x. Okay. طيب. We have questions.
Yeah. Let's move to another one.
Yes.
If x minus 2y equals 0.
X
minus y minus 2y
minus 2y
equals 0.
equals 0.
Then x varies as.
Then x varies as. طيب. أول حاجة you can simplify this equation. We have two variables x and y. You can simplify them. إزاي؟ Since in x minus 2y equals 0, then we can use the properties of the equation to make it more simplified. Like x, it will be 2y to the other side with positive sign, then it will be 2y. Then x equals 2y. What about 2? We can consider 2 as a constant. Then x varies directly as y. X varies directly as y, so we can fill the space. X varies here as y. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, another one.
Yes.
If 2 is it multiplied by y equals 5, then
2 multiplied
2, yeah.
2xy. You mean 2xy?
2xy, yes. Equals 5.
Good.
Then x varies as.
Here we have this question. You have 2x
y then
equals
x,
5.
yeah. Then x varies
Good.
as.
then x varies as. Type in this question we can make from the properties of the equation and 2x y equals 5. Then we can make here x times y equals 5 over 2. Divide 2 for both sides. 5 over 2. So we can consider x times y equals 5 over 2, which is a constant, like k. 5 over 2 is a constant. Then we can say here x times y equals constant, means x equal dividing y for both sides, k over y. Since an x equals k over y, means x varies as 1 over y. ممكن نقولها x varies as 1 over y أو x varies inversely as y. Okay, يبقى x varies as 1 over y.
Okay. If y varies as x and y equals 2 as x equals b. Okay. If y varies as x and y equals 2 as
x equals 8.
Yeah, equals 8.
Good.
Then y equals what when x equals 12?
Good. In this problem we have some given. The first one, x أو نقول كده y varies as x. Okay, and y.
طيب احنا معانا شيماء من الجيزة، نشوف اذا كانت حابة تشترك معانا في حل الاكسرسايز ده. اهلا بيكي شيماء. شيماء اتفضلي شيماء.
الو.
اهلا بيكي شيماء، سمعانا؟ طيب حاولي تتصلي
السلام
بينا. عليكم السلام. طيب حاولي تتصلي بينا مرة أخرى شيماء. طيب نرجع تاني للمثال.
Okay, يبقى هنا عندي y varies as x and we have another given which is and y equals 2 when x equals 8.
Yeah.
Good. Then we want to find the value of y question mark
when x
equals 12. Type. As we said before, if I have two quantities like x and y and they are direct variation between them, then we can make here y1 over y2 equals x1 over x2. طب what about x1, y1, x2, y2? Here we have xy, xy. You can name them y1, x1, y2, x2. Okay, and we just replacing for each value. y1 equals, just replace 2. طب y2 unknown or required. طب x1 8, x2 12. تاني we have y varies directly as x and we have some given اللي y1 equals 2 when x1 equals 8 and we want to find the value of y2 when x2 equals 12. We put the rule which is y1 over y2 equals x1 over x2 and we just replace y1 equals 2 when y2 equals unknown or required, x1 equals 8 over x2 which is 12, and then we can use cross multiplying to find the answer. It means y2 equals 2 times 12 divided by 8. 2 times 12, 24, divided by 8 equals 3. Then y2 finally equals 3. Okay?
اوكي. شيماء رجعت لنا. اهلا بيكي
Okay.
شيماء.
انا بحضرتك معلش خط اتقطع من الناس.
ولا يهمك، اتفضلي.
الحل x2.
مهم. طيب واضح ان عندك مشكلة في التليفون، حاولي ترجعي لنا مرة تانية معلش.
Okay.
طيب اوكي.
يبقى here we have after making cross multiplying يبقى هعمل 2 times 12 divided by 8 equals y2 equal 3. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
طيب let's have another one. If y varies as x and y equals 2,
If y
varies as x
varies
and
as
y
x.
equals 2, as x,
y equals 2
as x
as
equals
x
4,
equals 4.
then y equals what? X1.
Good. Y equals
What x?
What x? طب in this question he asks about the constant of variation. هنا عندي بكل بساطة إن y varies as x and varies directly as x. That means y equals constant x thing. Since y varies directly as x, therefore y equals constant times x. طب y here equals 2 and x equals 4. So k is required. To find the answer, we can replacing for y equals 2 and x equals 4 to make a simple equation. Y here equals 2, 2 equals constant like k times, what about x? X equals 4. Then to find the value of k, you can divide 2 divided 4 equals 1 over 2. So the value of the constant in this problem equals 1 over 2. It means y equals 1 over 2x. So the missing part in this question equals 1 over 2. Y equals 1 over 2x. Okay?
All right. Another question says, answer the following as required. If y varies directly as x and y equals 10, as x equals 8,
Good.
then find x when y equals 30.
Good. طب in this problem we have y
Varies directly as
Good.
x.
طيب يبقى since y varies directly
As
as
x,
x,
and y equals 10,
y equals
10,
10
as x
As x
equals 8,
equals 8.
then find x. Find x when y equals 30. هنحل التمرين ده ولكن بعد هذا الفاصل. ابقوا معنا.
وحصريا على مصر التعليمية مدرسة على الهواء للشهادات العامة تشاهدونه في الأوقات التالية. مدرسة على الهواء.
So we are back, dear students of the third prep grade. Let us carry on with our lesson. We're discussing lesson 3 of unit 2, direct and inverse variation, and we're still waiting for your phone calls on our program. Let us carry on, Mr. Ahmed. We have this exercise, the one I just said just before the break. Yeah, okay. Let's say it once again. It says if y varies directly as x and y equals 10 as x equals 8, then find x when y equals 30.
Okay. Since y varies directly as x, so we can put here y varies x. And we can put our data here. We have y equals 10. Means y1. When x equals 8 means x1, and x2 is required when y2 equals 30. Okay, since y varies directly as x, we can put here y equals constant x, the first rule. But the second one is very simple, which is y1 over y2 equals x1 over x2. You can replace for the values given. y1 equals 10. يبقى 10 over y2 equals 30. يبقى y1 equals 10. y2 equals 30. x1 equals 8. We can put here 8. What about x2? x2 is required. Then we can use cross multiplying to find the answer. هقول ان x2 equals 8 times 30 divided by 10. We can find the answer. x2 equals 8 times 30 equals 240 divided by 10 equals 24. So x2 equals 24. If you want to check your answer, you can make cross multiplying. يعني هقول ايه؟ هعمل 10 over 30 equals 8 over 24. يعني هنا اقول 10 over 30 equals 8 over 24. You can make cross multiplying. هعمل 30 times 8 and 10 times 24. The answer will be the same. Okay?
Okay, another one. If y varies as x,
which is number 2.
Yeah, y varies as x, and y equals 14 when x equals 42.
Good.
So find the relation between x and y, then calculate the value of y when x equals 60. I'll say that again.
Go.
Okay.
Here we have
if y varies as x and y equals 14,
y equals 14
when x equals 42.
When x equals 42.
Then find the relation between x and y.
Find the relation is required.
Yeah. And then calculate the value of y.
Value of y
when x equals 60.
When x equals 60. Type in this problem, we can make the same as the previous example. هنا بقول إن y varies directly as x فهقول إن y equals kx or constant x دي the first rule. طب the second one هقول إيه؟ y1 over y2 equals x1 over x2 طالما هي direct. أول حاجة we want to find the relation. The relation means find the value of k. Find the value of k. طب هنا عندي y equals 14 when x equals 42. We can replace يا 14 equals 42k. Means k equals 14 divided 42. It means 1 over 3. So we can say here the relation required is y equals 1 over 3x. Y equals 1 over 3x. Okay, the required relation. Second required, we want to find the value of y when x equals 60. So we can find here, since y equals third x, then by replacing for x equals 60 to calculate the value of y. So we can say here y equals 1 over 3 and x equals 60. يبقى كده ممكن اعمل direct substitution in the given relation in y equal the third x, and we can replacing for x equals 60 يبقى هعمل y equals third times 60, then y equals 20. Yeah, we can say here the value of y equals 20 when x equals 60.
All right, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this episode. So I'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed Saeed,
Welcome,
our
Jason.
teacher of mathematics.
Thank you
very much for being with us and for your great effort. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed.
Welcome.
So that brings us to the end of this episode. Dear students of the third prep grade, we've had lesson 3 of unit 4 direct and inverse variation. وما تنسوش ميعادكم كل يوم من 5:30 ل 6:30 طلاب الشهادة الإعدادية، والإعادة الساعة 6 صباحا. بكرة إن شاء الله في حلقة يوم الثلاث معادكم مع حلقة لغة الإنجليزية، وتقدروا تتواصلوا معنا من خلال جروب برنامجنا على الفيسبوك مدرسة على الهواء ابتدائي وإعدادي. ده اسم الجروب، مدرسة على الهواء ابتدائي وإعدادي. النهاردة إن شاء الله الساعة 9 مساء هيكون في حلقة مع الدكتور محمد يوسف وزير التعليم الفني والتدريب السابق في حلقة من برنامج حديث التعليمية، وهذه الحلقة سنتناول فيها أبرز قضايا التعليم الفني المعاصرة. يا رب تكونوا استفدتم من حلقتنا. حاولوا تتابعونا في حلقة حديث التعليمية لو عندكم أي يعني آراء متعلقة بتطوير هذا القطاع الهام، وإن شاء الله نشوفكم في حلقة جديدة. إلى اللقاء.